What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and for today I wanted to share some gameplay with you guys using Misty Knight, yet another character within the speed class that doesn't get a lot of usage by the majority of the player base simply because she's not very good. Personally, for me, the only time I actually use Misty Knight is actually as a leadership for Luna Snow, and before that she was virtually useless. I would only put her in Conquest to fill a spot, and that was it. Because although Misty actually has decent DPS, her survivability is absolutely atrocious, as is often the case with the majority of the speed characters. So a lot of people, for that reason, don't bother using her at all. She's actually a very frustrating character to use. However, today I was able to get something done with her, so I wanted to share that with you guys for any of you who actually like Misty Knight as a character. Granted, I don't have her built all that well. She's just over 10,000 in the world, so there's still a lot I can do for the character, which includes tier 2ing her because she actually has a decent tier 2 passive. But because her survivability is so bad, I don't think I would ever tier 2 her. With that said, let's actually take a look at the build details and then we can jump into some gameplay. As you guys can see, I have 120 for attack speed, 51% for critical rate, 156 for critical damage, 41% for ignore defense, and 50% for reduced cooldown duration. As for the remainder of her kit, as you can see right here, the gears are all at 20, which is standard for me. I have no Urus on her, and I would not recommend you give her any Urus as of right now because she definitely needs a bit of reworks in her kit. 4-star passive, absolute garbage. Take a look at this, 1.5% increase to freaking all speed. Really? That is absolutely atrocious. Arguably one of the worst 4-star passives in the game. When we have 4-star passives that's giving you an increase to your attack or giving you 30%, 35% ignore dodge, 1%, 1.5% increase to all speed is just absolutely disgusting. In the rest of her kit, she actually has 2 iframes, one on the 3 and a partial on the 5, and she has a stun on the 2 skill. That's where this kit ends. There is nothing else that's good in there. On top of that, the million-dollar question to me and for a lot of people is, why is Misty Knight's 5th skill not cold damage? Doesn't make any sense. If you look at the skill animation, it clearly looks like she's doing some cold attacks, so I'm not sure why this is not cold damage. And to top things off, she has a leadership that increases cold damage, but only 2 of her skills are listed as cold damage. That's really hurting the character. If you're gonna give her pitiful survivability and a crappy 4-star passive, at least make it so that her leadership buffs all of her skills. That way you can make her a glass cannon. She's neither a cannon nor a survivability expert. She's just absolutely terrible and very frustrating to play because although the 5 skill can stun lock the enemy if you can manage to keep them in place in stuff like Shadowland or Alliance Conquest, it's kind of linear where it's in a straight line and you kind of need the enemy to be stupid enough, or you need to be careful enough to actually line it up so that they stand on it. If not, you're not going to get too much out of Misty Knight. So when it comes to the rest of her kit, I have an offensive ISO set for her. To be honest, I'm not even sure if this is the best thing because what she actually lacks is more so survivability than DPS. But because I rolled for Power for Angry Hulk and I got it, I decided to just leave it, and I was not going to try a freaking HP shield just to find out whether or not it works. So for any of you guys who have an HP shield or a recovery ISO set on her, let me know if that works out for you guys, and maybe I'll give that a try because she really needs more survivability. For her obelisk, I highly recommend that you give her invincibility. I chose cold damage just to bump up a few of her skill damage, and I gave her max HP and a few seconds of invincibility. Trying to make sure I give her at least some survivability here since I didn't give her any kind of healing or HP shield on the ISO set. Now with that said, guys, let's actually jump into some gameplay. Alright guys, so since like I said survivability is an issue for Misty Knight, you want to make sure that you try to prioritize Rocket Raccoon as much as possible, and what you're trying to do is keep him locked in the 5 skill all the time. That way he doesn't drop any trip mines, because the trip mines are gonna lower Miss D's defense, and when that happens you're gonna take a ton of damage. So if anything, just let Star-Lord run wild and free and focus on getting rid of Rocket first. But ideally what you want to do is try to hit the 5 skill so that every single time it goes off you trap 2 people in it, and that way you can keep them stun locked like I'm doing here. If not, you're gonna struggle mightily. It takes some practice and it takes a little bit of positioning yourself properly, but once you get it down, she's actually capable. And as you guys can see, she's actually doing very good DPS here, even though her cold damage leadership is only affecting 2 of her skills. She was able to clear this floor in 45 seconds. Granted, it's only floor 1, but she's not built that well, and I have other characters that are built better than her that can't take this floor down in under a minute. So overall, very good DPS, but just terrible survivability. And if you don't have the ability to stun lock an enemy, it's not gonna work out for you. But that's it for this one, guys. Peace.